You want to know the one thing that can make or break a photo instantly? And that is good or bad composition. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of things that go into every single photo that can make or break it, such as bad lighting, such as poor settings, whatever it might be. But composition can really build an entire gallery to be an experience and memories for a couple or family, whatever it might be, but it can really create an entire memory for them. If you were to capture each pose at the same distance, the same eye level, that kind of thing, it's gonna be very boring, to be honest, very monotone. And that's not anything anyone ever wants with their photos, with their gallery. Having a huge variety of composition in so many different ways can make or break your gallery, and it will really take it to the next level for you. My name is Kate from Bokeh Biz, and I'm gonna teach you all my tricks and all the things to stay away from and not do and do and how I built my business over the last few years to go from a pipe dream to a full business that it's just flourishing, and I love it. I love every single moment of it. It's just expanding and it's good, and I'm here with all my tips and tricks to be able to help you up-level your business, hopefully a little bit easier than it took for me. So composition, it's such a small word, but it can have such an impact and huge meaning on every single one of your galleries. And there's many reasons for it. For instance, I give my husband my camera, whether it's an iPhone or my phone, and he stands at eye level and he takes 2 pictures every single time. It's always the same distance from me to him. It's never like moving the camera around, all this kind of stuff. But every time you move your body from eye level to like crouching down, to high, to left, to right, to in and out, like all those different, that's all composition. You're creating an entire new composition with every single movement that you make. And there's so much power in it. For instance, if I was to do one pose with one couple, instead of taking a few photographs, the same perspective, I pretty much run laps around these people. I'll get them to do one thing, and then if you see my previous videos, it's all about prompting, so it's an action. So they're constantly moving, so their hands are always in different places or whatever, or their bodies might be doing different things. But I'm not ever staying still. I am wrapping circles around them constantly. I call it my 360, 180. So I'm always doing like sort of a 360. I mean, I'm obviously not taking pictures of the back of their heads because, well, that's useless to anybody. But I'm always, you know, this is my couple, and I'm like running around like this, and I've got distance between each different perspectives, and then I'm going high and I'm going low. With every single prompt that I do, I could shoot an entire gallery potentially with that one pose because of the different compositions that I'm creating with every prompt. So the closer up photos that you can get super close. You can get just like their like this part of their face, this part of their face. You just get like this part of the face. You get the nose and you can get the mouth. You can just get that real like intimate, and that's going to create those like intimate, emotional type photographs. That's like it's about them. Like you're in their space. Not really, because I mean, hopefully you're using a slightly longer lens and you're not literally in their space with them, because that's theirs. But you can be a little bit distant back and you can just focus on just lips or just their hands like on each other's faces, whatever it might be. But that's going to create those intimate moments for you. And then you can step a little bit further back, and that will create a little bit more of an open mind to, you know, this is the setting, this is what they're doing with their bodies, a little bit more, less intense emotional, but you're still going to get those like snuggles and such. And then you go a little bit further back and get a little bit more distance, and that's going to show you the environment that they're in. When you choose your location for your clients, the environment, the location can make or break it. Like I've said before, if it's a city couple, you're not going to take them out to the lake. You're not going to take them out to the beach and have them rolling around on the sand. You're going to keep them in the city, and vice versa. So you want to be able to capture the entire location that you're in, because that is a part of them. That's a part of their vibe, their ambience. That like the two of them together, that's their emotion. So photographing the entire space and then coming a little bit closer and then a little closer again, getting those intimate moments, and then go from the side, go from this side, because you want to make sure you capture his face as much as you do hers, and you know, just the eyes closed. Like all those things can really make a big difference and really round out every single gallery. With all your movement in mind, you also have to take into account how you're capturing this photograph. Not only what are your settings, like what do you have your f-stop at? Do you want it to be really blown out in the background in the sense of like lots of bokeh? Do you want everything completely in focus? Because that's going to change your composition. Because composition is essentially what your final image is creating. And the emotions that you're building and capturing in your camera, that all comes, you know, initially from your settings, how you pose, then how you capture every photo, from the distance, all of it, okay? All wraps into one photograph. Every one photograph, you have to take all of this into account. With taking the composition of how I, control my camera and how I place my body when I'm taking these photographs, there's other things that come into play here. For me, I always love having the rule of thirds on the grid system on the back of my camera, because I always love taking the focal point of a photograph on that intersecting point. That's my thing. I absolutely love the composition that creates, opposed to having people perhaps right in the center of the photograph. I feel like it's very plain Jane. Horizon lines can make a huge difference. Like if you've got the horizon in the background and it's cutting straight through somebody's head, essentially it looks like you're cutting off the top of their head, and it just divides the image a little bit too much. If you raise your camera or lower your camera a little bit more, that will change that horizontal line and be able to just have it frame the couple, if you will, instead of cut straight through them. So that can make a big difference. Leading lines can be amazing. So having these leading lines sort of like direct to the couple or away from, though, that can be super powering too. It creates this movement throughout the photograph without there being any actual movement. Even if your couple is completely still, if you've got these leading lines that are leading off to the side, it's going to draw that emotion one direction. That can be super powerful too. So with every photo shoot that you do, you need to be very deliberate with what you do with your body, how you photograph, and how you capture every single image, because you want to be able to say you took 200 photographs of a photo shoot, you want to know that you've got, not only do you have 50 photos that you can deliver, you want 50 photos that you can deliver that are different. The same pose, for instance, you've got, a couple face to face, you want to know that you've captured something from a distance, something from this angle, close distance. You're creating intimate, you're also creating a variety of memories. So having that variety can really round out your entire gallery and make it unique to them. There's nothing better than looking at a gallery that you have and see variety. By scrolling through, I always use Pixie-Set for delivering my galleries, just by scrolling through and just visually seeing that I have something different in every photograph, different angles, different vantage points, that it's not just all the same. Like, that's going to create something unique for your clients that's going to allow them to feel very fulfilled with their session. Focus on your composition and being able to decide how you want to have your clients experience their gallery. You can have your settings set to whatever works for you. I always shoot wide open. I love keeping my f-stop super low if I can. It creates such a focal point of the couple, keeping the background blurred out. But of course, when I step back, it's all going to be a little bit more in focus anyway, so you get the environment, you get the scenery, but you also get that close up, the intimate. Everyone wants those intimate photos. Those are always some of my favorites. Play with your composition, play with your feet placement, just keep moving. My steps rack up like crazy in a photo shoot because I don't stop moving, because I create different compositions with every single prompt. I could take 100 photos of the same thing, but it would be different every single time, which is powerful. Check back later this week and I'm gonna have more videos for you telling with some tips and tricks. I have no idea what it's gonna be. It'll be something good though, I promise. Something that's helped me along the way and really helped me make my business what it's gonna be, that will hopefully make yours where you want it to be.